back to this again.
Ready?
Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year! Today I'm going to show you how to make a very healthy dinner. It's a low-fat, low-oil chow mein and it's superb. So let's get started. Traditionally, chow mein is used with these noodles, and these are the egg noodles that you can find anywhere in your local Asian grocery store. But it's really up to you what kind of noodle you want to use. I'm going to use these noodles here today, and it's very, there's so many noodles out there. I know that it can get very complicated, but at the end of the day, it's going to be delicious no matter what noodles you use. Right here I have Shanghai Bok Choy, I have some Oyster King mushrooms, I have carrots that have been sort of julienned into thin sticks, and then I have some sprouts as well. It's really very much up to you. If you don't have access to an Asian grocery store, you can also use spinach as well. And what would a meal be if you didn't have any protein? For me, I like chicken, so I just cut them up into little, kind of like little strips, little cubes about this size. And then I also have some fish cake here, and I also have some shrimp. If you're a vegetarian, then you can also use tofu as well. So every Asian meal pretty much starts off with a little bit of ginger and garlic. So right here I'm just mincing a little bit of ginger. And I think for this meal, you don't really need too much ginger. A little bit goes a long way. Alright, and then here I'm using about 3 cloves of garlic. And then you're just going to mince these up finely as well. Then I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce to the chicken, and I'm also going to add the garlic and the ginger. And to it I'm also going to add about half a teaspoon of cornstarch, and then I'm just going to give it a good mix. I'll also add a little bit of white pepper and a little bit of sugar. And for the shrimp, I'm going to season it with a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper as well. If you're using regular chow mein, then you want to follow the instructions on the back of the package. I'm using these fresh noodles here, so what I'm going to do, instead of just dumping them in the wok, I'm going to actually loosen them up first. You see when it comes out, it's a little bit stiff, like a square. So what I'm going to do is just pour in a little bit of hot water. And then I'm going to grab a chopstick. And just loosen them up a little bit. For the chow mein sauce, you'll need regular soy sauce, sugar, dark soy sauce, some chicken bouillon for extra umami flavor, sesame oil, white pepper, and rice wine. And to thicken it up, we're going to use a little bit of cornstarch, about 1 teaspoon. Now it's time to cook. So if you're like me and you don't have a wok, that's fine. Just use a pan or a Dutch oven. And so we're gonna start off by lightly cooking the shrimp. I just have a little bit of flavorless oil here, and all you need is maybe like a little bit, like half a teaspoon. I'm just gonna move that around. And then we'll lightly cook these. Okay. As soon as they're lightly cooked, I'm actually going to remove them from the Dutch oven. And then I'm going to continue cooking the chicken. And this just prevents them from being overcooked because nobody wants rubbery shrimp and nobody wants rubbery chicken, right? Okay, so we'll just set that aside, and then in the Dutch oven we'll just put a little bit more oil, not a lot. Move it around a bit, and then I'll put in the chicken. It might seem like I put in a lot of ginger and garlic to marinate the chicken in, but actually it's not, because I put in a lot of garlic and ginger specifically because later we're going to combine it with the veggies and the noodles. And in that case, if I just put in a little bit, then there won't be enough for the whole dish. So it's fine to just marinate all the garlic and all the ginger with the chicken at the same time. The chicken is just about done now, so I'm going to remove them and put them aside with the shrimp. So now we're going to start working on the vegetables, and what I'm going to do is add in about maybe 1/3 of a cup of hot water into the cast iron. And all of this brown stuff is good stuff because there's so much flavor down here. So don't worry about that, okay? I'm just gonna let that heat up a bit. As for the veggies go, they don't all have the same cook time. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna cook the ones that take the longest first. So I'm gonna put in the mushrooms first and the carrots. And then cover the pot for a little bit and let that cook. I'm gonna add the bok choy in now. And the sprouts cook really quickly, so I'm gonna add those last. Okay, and then lastly I'm gonna put in the sprouts, and I'm also going to add in the fish cake. Because the fish cake is already cooked, but what I'm trying to do now is just rehydrate them a little bit. And then we'll just let that cook a little bit more. Alright, let's add the noodles. So add that sauce, pour that right over. then we're going to add the protein. I'm going to add that right back in. And because some like it hot, I'm going to add a little bit of sambal olek. You can even use regular chili powder, whatever you have at home. Lastly, we're going to add a little bit of onions. And that's completely optional. I like a lot of onions, so I put in a lot. But if you don't like that much onions, then just put in a little or none at all. And at this point, it's pretty much done. Okay guys, so we're all done here. What do you think? Ta-da! Okay, now let's give it a taste test. So good. It's perfect. Honestly, this is my no-fail go-to recipe. Definitely give this a try, okay? Because every time I make it at home, it's always such a hit. Also, can you believe how little oil we put in here? I think I might have put only about 3 tablespoons of oil, and that's including the sesame oil. So definitely, it's gonna help with your New Year's resolution. So if you like this video, please give me a like and subscribe. And be sure to leave me a comment in the comment section as well. Until next time, I'm Kate from the Yappy Kitchen. See you!